5 takeaways from week 1, right? Number 1, Tyreek Hill might be the best wide receiver in the league. The display that he put on Sunday, live for the world to see, was nothing short of immaculate. 215 yards receiving, 2 touchdowns. Tua Tagovailoa looked like he only had eyes for Ricky Reek. Tyreek Hill just might be the best wide receiver in football. And listen, I'm the type of guy that does not like to relinquish the king of his crown. I don't. I would rather have the king lose his crown before I give it to somebody else, just off the strength of impulse, right? So by me saying this and leaping off the page means Tyreek Hill's been hovering around that territory at least for the past 2 to 3 seasons. Am I right? He's been top 3, top 5 on everybody's list at least for the past 2 or 3 seasons. Now I think just based off week 1 alone, I'm a playoff guy, but damn, it is hard to ignore what Tyreek Hill did week 1 on opening night. You got some of the best sports content, no doubt. Appreciate you, Doug, man. I appreciate that. Yeah, I think it's Tyreek, Jets, and Tay Adams. I had Tay Adams coming into the season as the best wide receiver in the league, but what Ricky Reek did is crazy. Number 2, the Bears have a lot to work with when it comes to how they're going about rebuilding this team. They got a long way to go, man. Everybody thought and anticipated the Bears would come in here and handle business against the Green Bay Packers, and no. This is a very, very bland candy cane on Christmas Day offense. Very predictable. Who's calling the plays? I don't know. Offensive coordinator Getsky needs to figure some shit out because this is ridiculous. And it looks bad on Justin Fields' behalf because he's missing wide open guys. He's hesitant because the offensive line is still shaky. And to me, when starting a true rebuild, it starts in the trenches. Offensive line, defensive line, then quarterback and skill position. That's just how I would imagine this is supposed to go down. But the Bears have a long way to go. So whoever anticipated the Bears to have a breakout season or the Bears to be the Cinderella story of the year, it is not happening. The Chicago Bears have a long way to go in this rebuild and a long way with developing Justin Fields into the quarterback that I know he can be coming out of Ohio State. Point blank, right? Like, they need to get this man in some rollouts. They need to cut the field in half. They need to improve on this running game. They need to invest some money on the offensive side of the ball. I understand they got DJ Moore. Chase Claypool was running his routes in half speed. I do not like him as a wide receiver in the National Football League. Donnell Mooney, I believe, is banged up. I just don't know how I feel about the Chicago Bears pass catchers. I don't know. And it's hindering the development of Justin Fields. So as far as right now, the Bears have a long way to go until they prove me wrong. I would love to see Justin Fields thrive, but the candy cane offense – it's not doing it for me. It's definitely not doing it for me. Right? Number 3, Tua Tagovailoa needs to be mentioned amongst the great quarterbacks in this league. And when I say mention, I don't mean, let's throw him in there and he's in the conversation. No. When I'm saying the conversation, I'm talking about the Joe Burrows, the Josh Allens, the Lamar Jacksons, the Justin Herberts, the Patrick Mahomeses. He needs to be mentioned with the best quarterbacks in the National Football League. Tyreek Hill and Tua Tagovailoa together is a godsend. And then you add in Jalen Waddle just to add insult to injury. I don't understand how any team is going to be able to compete with these boys the way that this offense can explode on any given play. You got to watch Jalen Waddle because he could take the top off the defense. Then you got to watch Tyreek Hill because not only is he a great route runner, but he can also fly and take the top off your defense. It's just so much to worry about in this offense. Everybody got a 99 speed. That's just what it is. Everybody got a 99 speed on this offense, and it's crazy because who's going to be able to deal with them? I think they're going to completely run it up this year, and I don't think anybody's going to be close. Like, I love Kansas City, but I think Kansas City might struggle a bit this year with these pass catchers or lack thereof that they have or don't have, whatever you want to call it. But in the midst of all of that going on, I do honestly, truly believe Tua Tagovailoa and this Miami Dolphins offense will seriously break some records this year. Number 4. The New York Jets are screwed. All of this hype, all of this anticipation, the arrival of Aaron Rodgers, the maturity of Garrett Wilson, this ferocious defense, a second-year pro in Sauce Gardner with Defensive Player of the Year aspirations. You got Quentin in the middle. You got everything you need to succeed. These guys were projected to do great things this year. All goes down the drain simply because Aaron Rodgers tore his Achilles. Prayers up for Aaron Rodgers. I hope for a speedy recovery. But I'm going to tell you guys like this. When injuries like this happen to 39-year-old, 40-year-old quarterbacks, they usually don't bounce back from this. The older you get, the slower you recover, the harder it is to maintain being healthy, and also the harder it is to bounce back from a injury, especially one of this magnitude. So the Jets season, pretty much to me, the way the AFC is shaped out, to be honest with you, they might not even make the playoffs. I know what they did last year, but let's be honest with yourself. The Jets, with Zach Wilson as their quarterback, they might not even make the playoffs. The AFC is that tough. Like, they may even finish 3rd or 4th in the division the way the Patriots looked against the Eagles. I don't see the Jets making the playoffs. That may be a bold prediction, but that's just how I see it, man. The New York Jets might be screwed unless they figure out a way to run the hell out of this ball, play some hellacious defense, and prevent Zach Wilson from turning the football over. It's legitimately the only shot they have at making the playoffs. And I know they won week 1, but let's be honest, that was more so about Josh Allen being ass than the Jets being good, and I'm just keeping it a bean with you. Number 5. The Cowboys is going to be trouble, man. This Cowboys defense is going to be trouble. I hate to admit it, but this Cowboys defense is very good, and it's crazy because I predicted this. Last week we did my top 5 defenses going into week 1, right? And I had the Cowboys finishing first for the season. I had the Cowboys finishing 1, and these boys came out here and shut out Daniel Jones, garbage ass, Danny Pennies, Gabricio. The starters were sitting out by the 3rd quarter. Dak Prescott didn't look too good, so that's basically the hope that I have to cling on to for this when it comes to the success of the Dallas Cowboys. Maybe Dak Prescott will screw it up in January, February, like he always does. Well, not February, but January, December, towards the end of the season into the playoffs, like he always does. So I got to lean on that. But outside of that, man, this defense, it's going to be trouble, and it's going to give us a whole heap of problems. I'm looking forward to this matchup against the Dallas Cowboys. I want to test my offense against this defense, man, because damn. That defense is crazy.